Morning, my friends, and I am scrolling all over the place tonight because we need to get to the Prince and the Pauper. Yes, we do. Let me see. I think we are on chapter 8, so here we go. We're going to scroll up. Those are all the pictures. And here we go. Yes, the question of the seal. So there we go. We are on chapter 8 of The Prince and the Pauper. So 1 second. The question of the seal. S-E-A-L. Not the animal. Okay, not the sea lion. About 5 o'clock, Henry VIII woke out of an unrefreshing nap and muttered to himself, "Troublous dreams, troublous dreams! Mine end now is at hand. So say these warnings, and my failing pulses do confirm it." Presently, a wicked light flamed up in his eye, and he muttered, "Yet will I not die till he go before." His attendants, perceiving that he was awake, one of them asked his pleasure concerning the Lord Chancellor, who was waiting out without. Admit him! Exclaimed the king eagerly. The Lord Chancellor entered and knelt by the king's couch, saying, "I have given order, and according to the king's command, the peers of the realm, in their robes, do now stand at the bar of the house, where, having confirmed the Duke of Norfolk's doom, they humbly wait his Majesty's further pleasure in the matter." The king's face lit up with a fierce joy. Said he, "Lift me up. In mine own person will I go before my Parliament, and with mine own hand I will seal a warrant that rids me of—" His voice failed. An ashen pallor swept the flush from his cheeks, and the attendants eased him back upon his pillows and hurriedly assisted him with restoratives. Presently he said sorrowfully, "Alack, how I have longed for this sweet hour, and lo, too late it cometh, and I am robbed of this so coveted a chance. But speed ye, let others do this happy office, since 'tis denied to me. I put my great seal in commission. Choose thou the lords that shall compose it, and get ye to your work. Speed ye, man, before the sun shall rise and set again. Bring me his head, that I may see it." "According to the king's command, so shall it be. Will't please your Majesty to order that the seal be now restored to me, so that I may forth upon the business?" "The seal? Who keepeth the seal but thou?" "Please your Majesty, you did take it from me 2 days since, saying it should no more do its office till your own royal hand should use it upon the Duke of Norfolk's warrant." "Why, so in sooth I did. I do remember. What did I do with it? I am very feeble. So oft these days doth my memory play the traitor with me. 'Tis strange. The king dropped into an inarticulate mumblings, shaking his gray head weakly from time to time, and gropingly trying to recollect what he had done with the seal. At last my Lord Herfert ventured to kneel and offer information. "Sire, if that I may be so bold, here be several that do remember with me how that you gave the great seal into the hands of his Highness the Prince of Wales, to keep against that day that—" "True, most true," interrupted the king. "Fetch it! Go! Time flieth!" Lord Herfert flew to Tom, but returned to the king before very long, troubled and empty-handed. he delivered himself to this effect: "It grieveth me, my lord the king, to bear so heavy and unwelcome tidings, but it is the will of God that the prince's affliction abideth still, and he cannot recall to mind that he received the seal. So came I quickly to report, thinking it were waste of precious time, and little worth withal, that any should attempt to search the long array of chambers and saloons that belong unto this royal high—" A groan from the king interrupted the lord at this point. After a little while his majesty said, with a deep sadness in his tone, "Trouble him no more, poor child. The hand of God lieth heavy upon him, and my heart goeth out in loving compassion for him, and sorrow that I may not bear his burden on mine old trouble-weighted shoulders, and so bring him peace." He closed his eyes, fell to mumbling, and presently was silent. After a time he opened his eyes again, and gazed vacantly around until his glance rested upon the kneeling Lord Chancellor. Instantly his face flushed with wrath. "What, thou here yet? By the glory of God, and thou gettest not about that traitor's business, thy mitre shall have holiday the morrow, for lack of a head to grace withal." The trembling chancellor answered, "Good your majesty, I cry you mercy, but I waited for the seal." "Man, hast thou lost thy wits? The small seal, which aforetime I was wont to take with me abroad, lieth in my treasury, and since the great seal hath blown away, shall not it suffice? Hast lost thy wits? Be gone, and hark ye, come no more till thou do bring his head." The poor chancellor was not long in removing himself from this dangerous vicinity, nor did the commission waste time in giving the royal assent to the work of the slavish parliament, and appointing the morrow for the beheading of the premier peer of England, the luckless Duke of Norfolk. And that's the end of chapter 8. It was all about the seal. Do you know what the seal is? They used to have a big, they didn't have like you lick an envelope and it would tape it down for you. They didn't have that back then. So back then they had wax, and so they would melt some wax and they would drop it on the envelope where the two pieces of paper met, and they would put a metal or a wooden stamp on there that had their initials on it, or their signature, or their coat of armor. And so when they did that, they sealed the envelope. Well, this seal could be very large. It could be about this big, or it could be on a ring. So I think what King Henry was talking about was the big seal was missing, but he still had his ring, so they didn't need to argue about the seal anyway. And now I have rambled on enough. So until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and grant you his peace.